Hi, my name is Kadla. I live at 8515 83rd Street in the Glen Gordon Apartments, which is directly across from the Bonnie Mall, excuse me, the Stitches. What you're about to watch is the deplorable, intolerable conditions that the residents of our building have had to tolerate, endure, and combined with having stress, anxiety, anxiousness, angst, anger over what we've had to put up with and how our quality of life has been so negatively impacted during the process of the construction of this Valley Line LRT, which is, quite frankly, doesn't mean light rail transit, it means light rail trauma. So, what you're about to watch, like I say, is I'm going to take a walk through. CBC did a story on it actually 2 weeks ago, and but they only covered about 1/10 of what is really going on here. So that's it for now, and we'll start the little tour right after this message. Okay, I just walked out my door, main entrance, which is a big bone of contention. For over 3 months, we have had no sidewalk, we have had no road, and we have had no access to our main entrance. So in other words, people who have go and pick up groceries and such cannot stop in the front of the building and drop them off, or if you got furniture, or if you got whatever you're carrying, you have to go through another entrance and lug them through. And if you're on the first, second floor, it's not so bad, but if you're on the third or fourth, it can be a nightmare. Nevertheless, this is the temporary sidewalk. As you can see, they're getting the sidewalk in finally. It was supposed to be the middle of October, and they said the end of October, and it's not going to happen. I can see that, tell you right now. This is a temporary sidewalk. I hope the glare isn't too bad that they put in for people who have walkers and people who have limited mobility, basically, or don't drive. This temporary sidewalk was put in, and right over here, I can't remember how to do the zoom on this, it's not my machine here, is the Safeway store. Now, you used to be able to just walk down the sidewalk here, cross the street, and go to Safeway, but now you have to go down the sidewalk here, and it's at least 10 times the distance to get to the mall, and then come from the mall and carry your groceries back in a shopping cart, or again, as I mentioned, a walker. Now, people have to also navigate themselves through here, likely, otherwise you've got these cement partitions here, and then get down here on the sidewalk. And essentially, to try and streamline things here, you have to go behind this. This is an extended care facility. This is the back of our building, and this here is where you have to go. Or on the other side of that section is another parking lot, is the rest of our parking lot, and you have to go there in other words, to park. Or if people come to pick you up, or DATS is right over here, pickup is over here. It's been horrific for people who have had to, like I say, to go. Now, this extended care facilities here, this is a church. You go behind the church here. I'm not going to do the whole distance because I want to try and self-edit. This is all ad lib, obviously. There's no script. I'm just making things up as I go and as I remember them. Okay, so at the end of this parking lot, there's a street, and then you go to the right to the crosswalk, which takes you over to the Safeway or the mall, for that matter. Sorry, I'm just I should have got a interestingly, by the way, this is the back side of the parking lot that I previously showed you, and this is another apartment that's also had to deal with all the horrible conditions we've had to tolerate, like I said. Another way you can get yourself to the mall
Over here we had a sidewalk in between where that white vehicle is on the left, and there was a sidewalk that could cut through, but they've closed off every street from the traffic circle on up to 82nd Avenue, so you cannot access this parking lot without having to go 10 times the distance driving. You have to go backwards to go forwards. I was paying for my gas. I was paying for our gas. Now, the other way you can go is you walk around here and you walk through this parking lot, their parking lot, and then down to the right at the end of the building, and then over to the side crosswalk, which is now not a red light crosswalk, it's a standard crosswalk. I have no idea why they got rid of the red light one, but you know what? I've stopped questioning why they do. The city does what they do in so many matters. Okay, I'm now at the end, around the corner of the building. Hopefully you can understand the perspective or know the area. And there's where Sears was. And here's another temporary sidewalk, a small portion of one that gets you onto the sidewalk here. Vimy Ridge is right here. And this sidewalk here, the actual sidewalk ends, and this temporary sidewalk has been put in, I'm not sure how long ago, say a month. Nevertheless, on Thanksgiving, we got the snowfall, but it also had rain. This was completely covered with a layer of ice. On top of that, a layer of snow. I called 311 because I think that this is inexcusable that this was not shoveled, and it wasn't. I called 311. I was put through straight to the Trans Ed. I was able to talk to Trans Ed. The Trans Ed fellow guaranteed he would call me on Tuesday to let me know when this road is going to be put in. It was my third attempt to get some answers. I got no phone call. Interestingly enough, a fellow at the Kinsman, where I work out, has mentioned to me twice that it is his understanding, and I trust him because he's a pretty knowledgeable fellow, that there was a contract signed between Trans Ed and City Council stating that City Council members were not allowed to go anywhere near the construction site, talk to any project managers, coordinators, or whatever. Interesting, isn't it? Because that is your job as councilors, or that is their job, first person, second person, doesn't really matter, to take complaints. Ironically, 311 operators were getting blasted, and over 90% of the calls were about transportation, and now we're told to phone council, but we can't phone council because their hands are tied. Like, is this contractual collusion or what? As I mentioned, I have to go forwards to go back, I have to go backwards, I'm sorry, to go forwards to get where I'm going, which is west every single day. The thing is, too, is that sorry, as I mentioned, getting to our own parking stalls is actually, if you don't know where you're going, for instance, if you're trying to give instructions or directions to somebody to come here because you can't park in the front, it is actually very confusing. And I've been selling things on Kijiji, and people have ended up in all kinds of different places, and you give them as explicit of instructions as you can. It's just real hard. So it's funny because the CBC cameraman said something very profound, I thought, because he seemed to be able to navigate himself around this area quite well. And I asked him, so, like, do you live here or around here? And he said, no. And quote, this is what he said, quote, I am not paying effing taxes to put up with this shit. And he moved to Sherwood Park. So Mayor Iveson, if you think you're going to have a city of 2 million people, what fantasy island are you living on? And Henderson, why don't you come down here, or you, Iveson, too, or all of you city council members who supported this LRT construction, or destruction, is more like it. You're ruining the city completely. And you think we're going to be a world-class city? Man, what planet you come from? All of you. Well, most of you. I know a couple of you who just shake your heads at the whole thing, and I know who you are. So anyways, you know, I'm just floored that you would allow this. It's unacceptable to let people live in these kind of conditions and not even give a hoot. Why don't you come down here, Mr. Henderson or Iverson, and any, like of you who support this LRT, and carry some groceries, carry some furniture, just for one single day. Come and listen to the noise. Sleep deprivation around here is like incredible. If you live on the front of this building, in one of these balconies, one of these floors, I swear, man, the dust and the noise, they've broken bylaws for sure with regards to the noise when they were going a couple months ago. And look at, there's nobody here. Why is this not getting paved? Where's the priorities? Like, honest to goodness, I have not found one person. I don't hang around with all like-minded people. I see all kinds of people. And if I talk LRT, holy cow, man. This is a big white elephant. The other line down by Kingsway was a white elephant. This is already a white elephant, and it's going to be a huge white elephant. And I don't know where the vision comes from, but perhaps maybe councilors should be actually not voted in. They should actually be contracted in. You know, get people who know stuff about planning and transportation and engineering and such, rather than voting in people who just have absolutely no clue as to how a city really operates. I actually think that's a pretty darn good idea, to tell you the truth. For now, I don't even know where to end this, because I know for a fact I've forgotten much. So I'll just head back and hopefully, you know, maybe somebody will just actually, I'm going to be giving this to TV stations as well. Nobody seems to really have any idea, a clue of what's going on around here and what we are dealing with. People, like I said, are so depressed and stressed out and all the things that I mentioned. I hope, you know, and by the way, Ben, lose the earring, okay? You know, like, seriously, you're in your 60s. Are you, like, hip? Well, if you're so hip, get your freaking hips out of your comfy little council chair, chamber chair, and come down here and see what's going on. But, you know, really, honestly, I don't know. You just collect a paycheck, because I don't see or hear. I've never heard of you. I came and saw you once about a photo radar ticket. Never heard a word back from you. What? Like I say, what are you? Just a figurehead? Sorry, this is not a character assassination thing, but so be it. Truth hurts. You don't do anything. You haven't done a thing. You haven't come to our building. It's deplorable again. So anyways, I'm going to sign off and leave it at that. If I think of anything else, I'll add it after. But for now, have a great day. Hope you know what color to paint those talus domes or whatever it is you're doing in council chambers today. Oh yeah, it's budget. See ya. Oh no, it's not noisy in front of our building at all. This is great. I'm just at a friend's place. I don't know if you can actually hear me, but like I said, if I think of anything else, I'll add it. Well, here you go. It's been added. And I'm trying to have a nap. Actually, not trying to have a nap, I'm trying to sleep. Yeah, because I got to work later. So, okay, anyways. Yeah. I think you should have supplied those earplugs to all the tenants who live on this side of the building. But that would probably, you know, you can't afford it. You know, it's not part of the budget. And, you know, probably not collecting enough taxes or something. So, anyways, adios. Oh, and here, by the way, is a fella who lives on the 4th floor. And he's on an oxygen tank, and who knows, but he's obviously clearly just come from somewhere, because he's got groceries, and I can see him in his bag below. And it probably took him who knows how long to make it. So, just thought I'd throw that one in. Perfect timing. See ya.